Welcome to Psychic Holistic Spotlight. I'm your host, Josie Way, and my co-host tonight is Bill Hannon, and we're very pleased to have with us our friend and renowned medium, Roland Comtois.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here with both of you tonight. Thank you.
Yes. A lot has been going on for everybody at this time of the year and the holidays. How has since the last time we've seen you, you've probably had a very busy year.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen you guys in a little while, and life has changed dramatically. My mother passed away, and there have been lots of intense tragedies, but you figure your way through those experiences, as everyone does, and you move through them. Everybody is sensing energy changes, and everyone's lives seem to have shifted a lot in the last year or two, and I think it's all part of what's going on or what we're going to be going through.
It seems to be a lot of letting go that I've noticed.
Yeah, there is a complete releasing of the old ways of doing things and the old thinking and the old vibration, the old way of living seems to be letting go and moving on to the next level of energy, and that's the whole point of it. Right, there are several reasons why we're here. We're here to learn, to grow, to love, to expand, and to allow our spirit to grow.
Right, and to help.
And to help, and that's part of the whole experience.
Yeah, even on the physical level, I've been getting a lot of urges to cleanse myself, to change, the things that I'm taking and relook at the things that I'm eating and drink more water and cleanse myself more.
Yeah, I understand that. I've been motivated for the same direction.
And there are a lot of people who are feeling that same kind of energy. And every so often I post on Facebook, I put energy updates because everyone's saying to me they feel unsettled, they feel disconnected, they're having weird dreams, they're feeling dehydrated, and all these things symptomatically relate.
I didn't realize, because I've been having issues with dehydration for
they all
more than a
seem
year.
to relate to the process of ascending here. So as we're here, we're growing, we're learning, we're loving, we're experiencing, we're sharing, we're ascending.
Stepping up our vibration.
We're stepping up our vibration.
Right.
And this is an important time to be stepping up our vibration.
Yeah.
Right? With all the changes that are coming down the road, we have to be prepared for that transformation and that transition. This is a good time to be praying, meditating, holding that sacred space and holding that energy within yourself.
So we're manifesting quickly too, very quickly.
Well,
that's interesting, yeah.
Right, and not only that, a lot of people who may not be as sensitive as to energy changes, a lot of them are still commenting, things seem like they're going a lot faster.
Isn't that amazing, huh? Everything is moving so quickly.
Right.
Things are shifting quickly. We're becoming more sensitive to those energies. There is something very clear to me that has happened in this year of 2012. The veil between us and that energy, or those dimensions, or that world, or those entities have become very thin. And so everyone is much more conscious of those tingly sensations, of those gut feelings, of those moments that say, take a left instead of a right. Those are all connected to this shift that we're experiencing in our lives. And every person is going through some shift.
Yeah, the coincidences that aren't coincidences.
Yeah, I find men are coming to my presentations and my events more than ever. So I think that something is shifting there.
That's good.
And people who have had the old way of believing are now understanding that there may be something just beyond the door. And it's our job to help folks see that there is something magnificent beyond that door. And that's the whole purpose of our being together.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned ascension more than once, or stepping up our vibration. What do you see the fruition of this change?
Well, this is a time to remember each other.
Now?
right now,
Right
and
now.
as we move towards the end of the year. This is a time to remember that we are part of a tribe, of a global family, that it's no longer about one person doing it, it's about all of us doing it together.
Sure.
And as we begin to remember, we remember the faces of our friends and our family, and we begin to be more gentle, kinder to those that are around us. What we're doing is we're creating a wave of energy that's going to help us to navigate through the changes that will come on December 21st and 22nd. And those 2 days, 3 days after that date, there will be a lot of fluctuations, a lot of changes, but the more that you remember, the more that you hold the energy of love, the quicker you'll get through that experience.
So there's been a lot of trepidation concerning possible changes. You've seen it blown out of proportion in the media and whatnot, movies.
Yeah, and films.
Right.
Yeah.
But what would you say is a good thing to be aware of?
Well, I want to say that this is a chance for humanity to come back home, to come back to its core, to its heart-centered experiences. This is an opportunity for all of us to come back to our truth and speak our truth and live our truth and really be a radiant light of that spiritual energy. To do that, you've got to remember. You've got to talk yourself through the challenges, because
Right.
It gets challenging.
Right.
And you have to be with like-minded people so that you feel secure and centered as the transformations and changes come. Now, can I tell you a little story?
Sure, please.
Recently, I did a crystal activation in New York with a gentleman called Bear Walker. He's a good friend of mine. He's a metaphysical doctor. He's a doctor. He does all these amazing things. And we went into this chapel, and there were 50 people in the room, and a triangle was set up, and everyone received a crystal. And he said to me and he said to the audience that on December 21st at 7:30 p.m., the Earth will travel through the Milky Way, the center of the Milky Way, for the first time in thousands of years, and the shift begins. What I want to tell you and to your viewers is that this is a time to get a crystal, to get something to hold on to each other's hands, be connected heart to heart, soul to soul, be connected to each other, and hold on to each other as we go through this transition. Now, you've heard on the news, you've heard on TV that they said the lights are going to go out and we're going to have days of darkness. Wait a minute. Aren't some people already in their darkness?
In the darkness.
Aren't they already there? And aren't we supposed to help them through that experience? Actually, I got to tell you guys something. While we're here right now, there is this amazing wave of energy moving through the studio right now. It's touching your heart. It's touching your hands. The energy is moving through here. And we have an opportunity to be part of that energy, that wave of energy. And we have an opportunity to step forward with that energy. Oh, wow, I got this thing is happening in my heart. I could feel this tingling feeling, and maybe everybody else is feeling things, but there is a wave of energy, and we all have to go through the experience together. It's about humanity coming home to remember that we are not separate, from that divine energy, that we are part of that divine energy.
Yeah, and some of us have to walk through the darkness to help support some of the people that are in the darkness.
You can't walk around darkness. At some point, it's going to come back to you. At some point, you're going to look in the mirror and you're going to see it again, and you're going to think to myself, oh my God, I thought that I took care of that.
Just turn up the volume of your own light and
Your
dispel
own
the
light.
darkness.
That's exactly it.
Your own light.
That's exactly it.
Many years ago, I had this simple vision, and Spirit told me to look for the towers. And like that old story, the towers are within, the healing towers. Each and every one of us is a healing tower, a tower of light.
Yeah. We all, look, there's not one book, and I don't mean to break it to you.
No.
I don't mean to break it to you, but there's not one book that says one person has a light. There's not a book that says one person has a gift. It says everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody. And I think that if we shine our light, it'll allow someone to see that their light is there, that we are a reflection of each other in some way, that we are a reflection of each other. You know, again, I don't think we can walk around the grief, the darkness, the fear. I think as we walk through it, we begin to chip away, and the light, as you say, turn that volume up and allow that light to shine.
Well, the way I see it is that, I mean, you mentioned the tribe of 7 billion people worldwide. They're all just basically vehicles for soul.
Yeah.
And so if we all recognize that we have that spark of divinity within us, that resonating to that vibration is just going to dispel the darkness.
It is, and you know, listen, it doesn't happen just because you've got to show up, and you've got to meditate, and you've got to pray, and you've got to, you know, be in that silent chasm of light.
You have to be reflective, but you also have to have a backbone.
Yeah, you do have to.
Right.
You do have to come here, wherever here is, and be invested in the healing experience and the process of growing or ascending. I mean, it just doesn't happen because you're here.
Right.
You've done something to make that happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, some people may find their connection with others working with something like plants. You know, a lot of people that do herbs, you know, are connected with the plant kingdom. Others are connected with the animal kingdom.
That's where the resonance lies.
Some are with the elementals that, you know, control our air and water and, you know, give divine loving energy to everything that surrounds us.
Right. Well, again, now, I mean, you mentioned these elementals, and having a nice talk with Linda Hogan a couple of weeks ago about 2012. It was very interesting. One of the things that was brought up was that after this ascension or shift or whatever's going to actually transpire, that the air is supposed to be clear, the water is supposed to be crystal clear, all the mass pollution, all the chemtrails that they're putting up there, spraying us with barium and aluminum and things like this. I mean, you know, it's just nice to know that there's going to be a positive result on a physical level, as well as an emotional, an intellectual, and a spiritual level.
I think really that the change will come inner first, and then it will create this ripple effect of energy. And all of a sudden, you'll see the transition that each person is going through. Ultimately, the earth will be the benefactor, will be the benefactor of this transformation. You know, we talk about the 3 days of darkness, you talk about the Mayan calendar, you talk about, as I said, my friend Bear Walker, who says, you know, and he's been studying this for many years, that there will be a great transition, there'll be a great transformation, and this is not a time to hold on to fear.
Oh, no.
This is not a time
Definitely not.
to be in that state of mind. It is a time to be in a place of love and
That's
peace.
just the opposite of fear.
Yeah, you know, the critics of me say that I'm a little too lovey-dovey, they say. But I think it's all about holding on to the love. It's all about holding that energy that pushes you through the darkness and the difficulties.
Well, you have the reaction. I mean, people are going to react to something that's different, something that's new. And a lot of the times they will shift into defense. They'll hold on to and possibly reflect on to things that they've experienced in the past that weren't pleasant, and therefore they're more likely to go into fear.
You can't deal with things when you're in fear.
No.
When you're in peace and calm and love, you can see all the possibilities. Fear narrows your choices. It limits you, whereas love expands.
Right.
Your perspective, your attitude,
everything.
Yeah.
It changes everything. You know, think about the events of 1999 to 2000. People weren't sure what was going to happen.
Right.
There was an
was a
immense fear
Sure there
that
was.
was present.
Right.
Think about 9/11 and the events on that day. The fear just was rampant until we were able to get through what we were feeling emotionally, work past our reactions,
Sure.
and begin to, you know, to walk the path again.
Right.
It's going to be, to me, it is exciting to think that beyond that day is something magnificent, something beautiful.
Right.
You know, I've had a near-death experience about 20 years ago, and I have a feeling that that same vision that I had there will incarnate here, that this life is available to us, this
Sure.
energy, this love, this
Right.
earth being better, being healed, all of that is part of the experience, part of the possibility somehow. It's all part of the possibility.
Right.
I think it's important that everyone just kind of hold on together, walk through the experience and see where it leads you and be a support for each other.
Right. I mean, astrologically, I mean, we're coming into a new age. It's, you know, end of one calendar. I mean, the Mayan calendar, as far as I'm concerned, is just the end of a calendar. Just like you
You're
take the
right.
one off the wall, you throw it away, and you open up a new calendar.
Yeah.
And basically, we just haven't had anybody to come and give us a new Mayan calendar yet.
Yeah.
But basically, that's basically how I see it myself. I am aware that the solar system itself is coming into a different part of its own solar travel through the Milky Way galaxy, that there may be physical changes, that there may be higher vibrations or energies that are in this region that we're coming into that may sponsor some of this. Just being able to explain it from a scientific point of view, something like this could be actually what's going on. But nonetheless, just to be aware of that some of these changes that we're experiencing are just step-ups in frequency, step-ups in vibrations.
From a spiritual perspective rather than scientific, people need to remember they're not going through this alone.
Yeah.
We have loved ones on the other side.
Right.
We have angels.
Right.
We have guides and teachers.
Right.
There's a lot of spirit help. We are not alone.
Right.
That's an important message.
Right.
Yeah.
It's an important message because we're all, even if we put aside 1221 and
Yeah.
1222 and all the changes that are coming, there's something very healing and nurturing to know that when we're sitting right here, we're not alone.
No.
That we have this amazing entourage, a gathering of souls that
A lot of holy people.
yeah, exactly, that just kind of guide us on our journey, as they would on that day, as any other day, guide us on our journey and move us through the transformation that is there for us.
I think it's important for us to ask for that guidance.
And ask to see the highest view, the highest perspective, the highest, broadest perspective of what's going on.
And even if that's hard to do, for some people it is hard.
Sure.
To
It
get
sounds
there.
like airy-fairy type of thing, you know?
Yeah, but it is everyone. It's possible for everyone. Whether you pray, whether you meditate, whether you sit by a brook, whether you sit in your car. I remember one woman told me that the only time she could really get into that space was sitting in the bathroom away from the kids, away from her husband, away from the dogs, you know, because she needed a little place for herself that she could connect to the energy.
Sure.
So pick a place
I
and have a
find
conversation.
showers are very, because you're relaxed, they're very intuitive ideas. The things that you couldn't remember during the day, they all come to you while you're in the shower.
That's funny. That is so true. Yeah, something happens there.
Because
The
you're all
waves of
relaxed in the water.
The waves of emotion washing over you.
The
Yeah.
water
Yeah, something is
cleansing.
happening there. You know, so we are entering an interesting time for humanity. The earth will shift and change. We will see, all of us will have a much clearer vision for ourselves as the dust settles a little bit. And I think that what is ahead of us is something very remarkable, that we come back to remembering that we are part of something, that we are not separate. You know, often people say, well, God is up there, or my loved ones are over there, but aren't they here? Aren't they part of us? And so it's going to be important to remember those things as we go through these changes.
Sure.
As the end of the month comes around.
Yeah, there's just like there's an internet web, there's a giant web of loving people attached to all of us.
Right. Well,
Each of us.
I'll be honest with you, I think that the internet, which just came about the last 30, 40 years, is just for us to be able to realize that there is a connection out there, that we don't need so much the physical internet or the connections, but just going on, understanding what's actually going on, and then realizing on a spiritual level we can do the same thing.
Yeah. It's all accessible to every person. I mean, as we're sitting here, that energy may be radiating out to your viewers, and maybe they're feeling that web of energy is around them, and maybe they're feeling more peaceful, and maybe they're making deeper connections because of the opportunities that you guys bring to them. And then they take that energy and they create another vibration, and it moves and creates another ripple effect.
This is all pay it forward stuff.
Yeah, it is.
When I feel benefit, I have to share that with others. Spread the light.
Well, I don't think you even have to. I think that if you feel a benefit, it's going to resonate, and people are just going to pick up on that, just like you were mentioning before.
By have to, I didn't mean.
Oh, no.
It flows from you.
Yeah.
You can't stop it.
It's innate. It's just part of you.
Right.
Yeah. And all of us are going to be able to come together, and there will be a great. My hair is standing right now.
Well, I was just going to ask you, is there anything else that you want to share specifically?
Yeah.
Oh.
There is going to be
why did I have that thought? Is there something you want to share?
There is going to be a great celebration for humanity. The days of darkness and restlessness are going to pass. And as we move through this dimension of time, we will all step into that fifth dimension. Our spirits will be stronger.
Right.
Our sensitivities will be broader. And the angels will be sitting at the doorstep waiting for us to see them. There is no darkness here. There is only light. As you cut through the darkness, you will see that beyond that doorway is something radiant. God, the angels, the spiritual guides, the teachers, all of the masters are waiting for you to say yes to the messages that they present you. We are not lost. You are not lost. You are not lost. Why don't you just let us walk you through this experience?
Certainly.
Let us walk you through this experience as we're
Stroll.
just nice and easy.
Right. I
Take it
honestly
easy.
believe that. I mean, they are here for that reason. I mean, but the thing is, people have to ask. I think that that's so important.
Yeah, they are. It is part of the plan.
Well, even if you
reach
have
out
an
and ask.
understanding of what's going on and you don't go into fear, but the thing is, if you ask for angelic guidance, you ask for spiritual guidance, you ask, and the thing is, asking you shall receive. And so the thing is that if we make that connection and we actually ask verbally to be actually guided to, I am open to your help. Please help me. And,
That's showing up to the table.
right.
You've got to do your part in this experience and this exchange of energy that's coming. You've got to do your part. We all have to do our part.
Right.
For each of us to ascend, we've got to go inside, sit in that silence, be connected to Spirit, be connected to God, be connected to that divine energy, and stretch through the door. But we have to show up.
Right.
We have to show up.
Yeah, we have to do our own part.
Yeah. And then, as we've said 1,000 times now, that energy then begins to move, and others are receiving the blessings too, as a result of that.
And what I find more uplifting about talking about changes on this level is even if there are no drastic physical manifestations, there are no drastic earthquakes, there are no hurricanes or tornadoes, snowstorms all coming together at one time. The thing is that we are going to be in a position that we will still be able to move forward, and that we don't have to go to a place where there's any fear, basically.
No.
And the thing is that we'll be able just to move on, and if nothing happens, fine. And this way we're able to manifest and
We're all awakening.
right.
This is a time of awakening. It is not a time of slumber. It is not a time of shunning or pushing away. It's a time of awakening.
Would this be a good time maybe to ask for strengthening of your gifts?
Yeah, because what happens after December 22nd
Right.
is that many people are going through that veil.
Right,
And that sensitivity that they have is heightened.
right.
So you're going to see more, feel more, sense more, know more stuff. And it's going to be moving through you rapidly, you know, and it's going to happen. It's part of the experience.
Listen to the children.
Listen, yeah.
Yes, they're much clearer channels than we are.
Oh, yeah.
I remember years and years ago getting when something flew through me, I would say, "Now, why did I say that?" And then go, "But I know it was true."
Yeah.
But I didn't know where it came from.
Yeah. We all have those same opportunities, though. You know, but now we have these filters and we have these things that get in the way. Those kids, they don't have those things.
No.
They just have a clear, direct connection to source. We do too, but we put a filter of doubt, a filter of despair, a filter of regret, of
Society,
fear.
you know.
Society, someone
Exactly.
saying something to you.
Right.
All those filters
Plus all
then
the
clog
things
up the
that
energy.
all the things that we've been taught that restrict us and
Yeah, but,
limit
you know,
us.
we knew our truth as a kid. Where did our truth go? We gave our truth away, our power away. I think this is a time to reclaim your power.
Right, right, exactly. I see that also on a civil level as well. You know, the way authorities have been taken away through legislation and through, you know, this is
Yeah.
just a simple way for you to, again, like I mentioned before, just develop a backbone, stand in your truth,
Yep.
and feeling comfortable with yourself, knowing who you are.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
are a son or daughter of God,
Yes.
and that you stand in your truth. And you know, this is just the way I understand things. This is
I hope that politics that govern us and big businesses start to see all the connections and realize they're working with humanity. It's not all about finances. You know,
well,
and
yeah.
power.
Well, you see, I don't.
It's going to take a while.
I don't
Yeah,
see that.
that's another story.
That's right.
That's a big story.
That's right. I don't see that. But the thing is, I think it will come from a grassroots level.
Yeah.
I think that's where, if any change is going to be manifest in that realm, it's going to come from a grassroots level.
I think
Yeah.
so.
A lot of businesses have become much more green, you know, as
Well,
far
they
as
have, but it's also to their benefit.
the environment.
Well, it's also to their benefit. You know, they get tax credits. You know, they look good in front of everybody. You know, I mean, it's all a game. It's just a show game. And you know, I'm not trying to sound cynical. I'm just stepping back, looking at the whole picture,
Yeah.
and I look what's going on behind the scenes. And you know, but the thing is, as long as I'm standing in my truth and I'm not judgmental, I'm just observing, and I'm trying to help out anybody I can who is there for help.
One more moment, one more possibility.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about.
We're coming to the end, so is there one thing that you would like people to remember in the next 2 minutes?
I want them to remember that they are part of the tribe, that they are part of the family, that this is not about you, it's ultimately about all of us being one magnificent, beautiful, brilliant, radiant light. And together we can achieve amazing things spiritually and in the lives that we live. So this is a good time to just remember and be in that space of peace and joy. This is important.
Yes, it is very important.
That's the basic
And-
message of this time.
This can be a very blessed time
Yes.
for us.
Yeah. It'll be a time
Sacred.
of blessings and sacredness and celebration of that human spirit
Yes.
finding its voice again and finding its life again.
Right.
And we move forward.
Maintaining your own personal integrity, you know, and,
Yeah.
and just moving forward, just like you said.
Stand in your truth, honor who you are, love and support. It's going to be an okay time. We'll
And
be
we're
okay.
going to be physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual beings.
I'm in. I'm totally in.
Step in the right direction.
That's a
Yes.
beautiful thing.
Thank you so very much for
Thank you.
joining us.
Thank you, Roland.
Roland,
Thank you very
Bill,
much.
Josie?
thank you for joining us. Please come back and visit us again.
So that was a nice little